Harvey, Eva, and Amos McAdams, McAdams Mortuary, proud to sponsor this portion of the Sunday Morning Gospel Show, and hope you're enjoying all of today's programs. McAdams Mortuary, where thoughtful service, a cherished tradition, their family serving years since 1987. McAdams Mortuary, Highway 37 South in Paoli, making a difference. And also listen to this word. If you're enjoying the music of the Rambos and Dottie Rambo this morning, get Rambo's music this week at the 3D Bible Bookstore. For all your Christian music, Christian literature, and other church supplies, that's the 3D Bible Bookstore, Sycamore Square, 16th Street in Bedford. Call them at 275-7985. And there's no special this week, but if you enjoying the Rambo's music this morning, and most of it that I will be playing is available courtesy of the Good Old Days set, which has been released by the Rambo Music Organization. Just about all of the Rambo LPs have been transferred to CD and called the Good Old Days set, and most CDs contain 2 LPs, except for a few of them which have the live concerts on them, which has contained 1 LP. But what a treat. If you're a big Rambo fan and your Rambo LPs have become obsolete and you can't play them anymore, they are now once again available, and you can get them at the 3D Bible Bookstore. If they're not in stock, 3D Bible Bookstore can order them for you. So get all your Rambo's music this week at the 3D Bible Bookstore. 23 minutes now past the hour of 8 o'clock here on the Sunday Morning Gospel Show.
What a happy reunion in the heavens will be.
You're listening to the Sunday Morning Gospel Show tribute to Dottie Rambo here on WFLQ, French Lick. All right, and this is our tribute program to the late Dottie Rambo, who passed away at the age of 74 following injuries received in a weather-related bus accident going on her way to a tour date in Texas last Sunday morning. And updating you on the injury situation of the other folks traveling with Dottie last Sunday. From the Singing News, good news in a telephone conversation with Judy Ferguson, the wife of Larry Ferguson, who was the tour manager of Dottie Rambo. First of all, they want to convey their thanks to everyone for their prayers. Larry, the tour manager, came through surgery fine, and he's got to be on complete bed rest for the next few days. His Judy and their 2 children, that's Larry's wife and their 2 children, have been released from the hospital. However, they're still spending their days and nights with Larry, as well as with their Dottie's product manager, Chris Barnes. He was also the webmaster, and also the bus driver, Ronnie Meadows. Now, Chris Barnes improving, and he's just started blinking his eyes. Surgery to follow as soon as he's physically able. Ronnie Meadows beginning to respond and is writing notes to communicate. Now, this is as of Friday. Larry will continue to require additional surgery within the next few weeks. He suffered 2 broken legs and a broken jaw. Your continued prayers and support are greatly appreciated. Now, the families of those hospitalized are staying in nearby hotels, and the extra expense of travel, hotels, eating out, hospital expense, etc. mounting. So along with your prayers, contributions of any size will be greatly appreciated. And going a little further down in the Southern Gospel Newswire of Singing News, there has been a fund set up for that. Singing News has been contacted by Becky Voles, a representative of the Larry Ferguson family, and Judy's instructions. An open letter has been issued concerning the events of the past several days. A fund has been established in the name of Larry Ferguson at the Citizens National Bank in Springfield, Missouri. That's to help with the expenses of those who were injured. Please only send checks made out to the Larry Ferguson Fund so that we will have a record of who sent support. Now, the address on that is Citizens National Bank, ATTN, attention Marcia Henry, 3212 South Glenstone Avenue, Springfield, Missouri, 65804. And you can find this information as well on the singingnews.com website. Just click on Singing News and you'll see a SG Wire link. That's the Southern Gospel Wire. That's where you can find all the info there on that. And services for Dottie Rambo will be tomorrow at Christ Church, and that'll be 1 p.m. service. And many might remember that the last big funeral to be held at Christ Church was the Anthony Berger funeral. And some of you know that they did stream that service. Well, they're not going to stream Dottie's service, and they say out of respect to the family, they're not going to stream this service. But they say once the services are over and in the next month or two, they will release a DVD video of the services for Dottie Rambo. So if you're wanting to possibly be there for the services or thought maybe they might stream them on the web, they are not going to do that. So, and I totally agree with that. Out of respect for the family, they will not stream the services like they did Anthony Berger's. So, continuing on now with our tribute to Dottie Rambo. As you know, Dottie was a songwriter, singer, but also in her early days, quite the instrumentalist. And once again, from one of those rare cuts that have been preserved due to the from the estate of the late Woodrow Archer and his daughter Peggy. Here's Dottie playing a little bit of an instrumental.
I'm going to play this by Elvis and Charlotte, French Lick, Indiana.
You're listening to the Sunday Morning Gospel Show tribute to Dottie Rambo here on WFLQ, French Lick. One small clarification there, and thanks to Tim Tolper for calling in, informing me that WBDC didn't hit the air till 1974. So that's from the studios of WITZ over in Jasper. So Buck, his memory not as good as it used to be, but still, they did have their radio program there at Jasper until, as you heard him mention, he would move down to Madisonville, Kentucky to start a radio program there. But that's a slice of history right there. The late Dottie Rambo as a tree planted beside the water. I shall not be moved. Dottie and their accordionist, Shirley. And Buck will talk about her a little later on in the interview. 8:31. Time now to take a look at the gospel community calendar, look at events today, this week, and weeks to come in gospel music. We find that the Sunshiners, you can catch them in concert two times today right here in our own backyard. First up this morning over at Red Quarry Christian Church in French Lick, 10:30 a.m. Brother, that's been your Q100 Gospel Community Calendar.
What a happy reunion in the heaven 12.
You're listening to the Sunday Morning Gospel Show tribute to Dottie Rambo here on WFLQ, French Lick. And, of course, that recording came through the courtesy of Benson Records and the Heartwarming record label.
No, we did about 3 records before Benson.
Okay.
They were what we call custom records.
Oh, yes, the old custom imprints. Yes,
Yeah.
what we call independent today.
Right, yeah. Well, we did about 3 of those, and they become very successful. And then the Benson Company had us to come with them, and so we had a great, very, very successful recording career with them. They were wonderful people, and we had a marvelous time together.
And as we've heard just a few moments ago, a cut from one of those radio programs, those were preserved due to the late Woodrow Archer, those recordings from your radio program there in Huntingburg. Only very few of those survived, and they were just clips of radio programs. There was 5 cuts, and we've heard several of them already, Buck, and I've sent you one of Dottie playing the electric guitar there.
Yeah, it was an experience. We first started out with just a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally we got to where they talked me into playing the guitar. And then we had 2 guitars, and then Reba came along, and we had Shirley Bivens that came with us about that time. She played the accordion, and then Reba came along, and she played the bass, and then we added a piano,
Right.
But to me, of all the years of ministry and travel, those were the highlights of my thinking. I probably enjoyed those better than any years, just going and working in small churches and staying in pastors' homes.
Yeah. And as you told me, you used to come up here and preach in a little lot that now is occupied by a laundromat, but it was an empty lot back in the 60s, and you'd sing and preach right there on that empty lot here in French Lick.
Oh, yeah. We've done, Brother Woodrow Archer, he was a wonderful man, and he would advertise. We would advertise our meetings. We would go down on a Saturday afternoon. This was when everybody went to town on Saturday,
Right.
And we'd go down on a Saturday afternoon, and we would hook up there, and he'd have a little PA set there, and we would just sing our hearts out and advertise a revival. And a lot of people came to church to the revival, and a lot of people got saved from those street meetings.
And speaking of Reba finally coming along, here is probably the very first recorded vocal of Reba Rambo McGuire, and back then Reba Rambo, but today Reba Rambo McGuire. She was probably 4 or 5 years old, I'm guessing, at this point, and being backed up by a mom and dad, and once again going back to the radio days here. This is Reba Rambo.
Place your hand, mighty Lord, on the rain. You place your wonderful hand on the prairie. Lord, you fought for the fountain, raised up the mountain. Oh Lord, keep your mighty hand on me. Touch the clouds, you made them rain, you made the earth and the sea, you made man in the image and the likeness of yourself. You have power and might in your hand, Lord. So please keep your precious hand on me. On the sun, moon, and stars in heaven above, form the world by thy word, O precious Lord. Lord, you fought for the fountain, raised up the mountain. Oh Lord, keep your mighty hand on me. Touch the clouds, you made them rain, you made the earth and the sea, you made man in the image and the likeness of yourself. You have power and might in your hand, Lord. So please keep your precious hand on me.
What a happy reunion in the heavens will be.
You're
listening to the Sunday Morning Gospel Show tribute to Dottie Rambo here on WFLQ, French Lit.